Hi everyone, Brian here, back with what I picked up since my last video, which was, I think, December, the end of December. But I got some stuff here, and we'll go over what I got here. We'll start with Super Nintendo titles. I got Sonic Blast Man. Been looking for this. I never played it, and it's a beat 'em up, and I love SNES beat 'em ups. And also to go along with SNES beat 'em ups, I also picked up Brawl Brothers. This is the second in a trilogy of games by Jaleco. The first one a lot of people have played is called Rival Turf. This is the second one, and the third one is Peacekeepers. I've played Rival Turf, but I didn't know that there were the other two, so I'm now looking for them. But I'm happy to find Brawl Brothers. For I think $2.50, I picked up, since the Olympics are going on, Izzy. Quest for the Olympic Rings, and this was when the Olympic Games were in Atlanta in the 90s. It's actually a platform game, but you play as the Olympic mascot Izzy. Quest for the Bases Loaded games continue. I got Super Bases Loaded. I think there were 3 Bases Loaded games on the Super Nintendo. So this is the first one. And it was $1, really cheap. Moving on to the Genesis, I picked up from Renovations. I picked up El Viento, and I think this is the sequel to Ernest Evans. From what I understand, this is a much better game. And I played a little bit of it. It's a side-scrolling shooting game. You play as a woman, but that's all I know about it. But it's very interesting. Also, for the Genesis, I picked up one of the earlier releases. Very popular, although I never played it. I remember it back in magazines. Spider-Man. And this was the original one. There's also a Spider-Man based on the animated cartoon. But I never played this, and it looks interesting. I did play about 15 minutes of it, and you can like shoot and swing from the buildings and climb the buildings. Very cool. Also, for the Genesis, I picked up Micro Machines. I have it for the NES. I haven't popped this in to see if it's similar or not. It's probably just a port with better graphics, I would think. But it's actually by Codemasters. So there you go. Got Micro Machines, and it says superb playability, 97% Mean Machines, UK Magazine. And if you open it up, it's one of those really weird shaped bean cartridges. I call them bean cartridges. I don't know why that came to mind. Okay, we'll go on to Game Boy Advance. I picked up Mega Man Zero. I have Mega Man Zero, I think Mega Man Zero 2 and 3. I'm missing 4 now. And there's also a collection for the DS you can get, but I haven't found that. But I keep finding the cartridges for the Zero games. Also, an Atlas game. I never heard of it. It was $5. I decided to pick it up. It's an RPG. Riviera, The Promised Land. I have no idea what it's about. I haven't popped it in to play. Another Mega Man game. Mega Man and Bass. Or I always used to say Bass, but it's actually Bass. So yeah, Mega Man and Bass. That was actually a Super Nintendo game late in the Super Famicom game back in when the Super Nintendo was on it. Super Famicom was on its way out. Never released over here except during the Game Boy Advance age. Some NES games, of course. Start with Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventures. I don't know why I called Video Game Adventures, but it's a terrible game. I did play a little bit of it, but it was cheap, and I decided to pick it up. And you know me, I will buy any terrible NES game I can. It's just something about it. Nostalgia. I remember running bad games. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. I did not have this. And this game's actually, I like this game. Defender 2. I'm not a big Defender fan, but this is made by HAL Labs. The Kirby, I think HAL Labs? HAL America. I think that's the people who made Kirby. I'm not 100% sure. Kimo Seika. We have the company, I think it's Kimoseka, make Desert Commander. This is like a, almost, I think it's like an RTS game, like, almost move your troops like Fire Emblem, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never actually seen it or heard of it, so. Jack Nicklaus Golf. It's an awesome Konami silver packaging with the cool boxes that they have and the labels. Smash TV with the manual. This was really cheap. It was only like $6, and you can play it with one controller or you can use 2 controllers. So Smash TV. The version on the SNES is obviously is the one I played. So never played it on a Nintendo. Super Spike V-Ball and Nintendo World Cup 2-cart compilation. And being a big 80s and 90s wrestling fan, we got WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. And here's when I saw this, I picked it up and I saw that it had the Mountie on it. I don't know if you remember the Mountie, but brought back some memories. Okay, let's go on the magazines I got. I got the my issue of my year of subscription of Nintendo Force ran out, so I have to renew. And this is the final issue, issue 7. You see it has Shovel Knight. Also picked up at Barnes & Noble. I always pick up Retro Gamer magazine, and they had the Video Games Hardware Handbook, 1977 to 1999. Really cool because over all those consoles released during that period. Full color. Oh, saw the Nintendo there. Mega Drive, Game Gear. Might actually take a look at this. I haven't really dove into it yet, but there you go. We have the latest issue of Retro Gamer. This is 124. I think they're in 125 or 126 right now, but the US, I think my Barnes & Noble is 1 or 2 behind usually. And the first issue of Retro Video Game Magazine came out, so I have a subscription for that. The print and digital. This was a Kickstarter campaign that I contributed to. And let's go on to DVDs and Blu-rays. I think Target had I have the first season of Game of Thrones. They had the second season on sale, I think, for $40. So I picked that up on Blu-ray. And a Christmas present from my parents. Just got done converting them, all of these, to MKV files for my server. And that's the Three Stooges Ultimate Collection. I'm a huge Three Stooges fan. This has all of their shorts, 190 of them. Didn't know there were that many. 2 feature films, 28 never before released shorts, and 3 Columbia cartoons. Three Stooges are some of my favorite short, like TV, I guess you could call them. They're not TV series. I love Three Stooges. I'm so glad to have every one of them. And then we'll go on to 2 other games I got here. We'll go on to the Nintendo DS. I picked up Super Dodgeball Brawlers. I never played this. It's actually, I got this. This was insanely cheap. This was like $5 or maybe less. But the one on Nintendo and NES one is the one I remember, and this one, if it's anything like that, that's great. And the big release, I'm still playing, currently addicted to it. I'm all the way 100% in up to World 3, and that's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And the Wii U has an amazing selection of platform games. If you love platform games, the Wii U is the system, one of the systems you should really get a Wii U. And Rayman Legends, you have New Super Mario Brothers U, New Super Luigi U, you have Donkey Kong Country Returns, and you have there's some other ones I'm missing. But out of all those ones, I have to say this is probably my favorite one so far. Rayman Legends would be, as much as I loved it, I like this a little bit more, and I love Rayman Legends. Super Mario 3D World is great, but I like this a little bit better. If you love platformers, get this game. It's just a joy to play. The graphics are incredible. The music is outstanding. The gameplay is great. Some of the levels are just ingeniously designed and quite a challenge. So highly recommend you pick this up if you have a Wii U. And we have finally an RPG for the that really piqued my interest for the 3DS. I picked up Bravely Default, the collector's edition of Bravely Default. I was listening to the soundtrack, and it really, there's the battle music in it. I haven't played it yet, but the battle music in the soundtrack just sounds amazing. And the main theme is amazing. It sounds very Final Fantasy. So if going by the music, if the game's anything like that, it is a lot like Final Fantasy. So really looking forward to a classic Japanese role-playing game. There's not a lot released nowadays, so happy to have that. This comes with the game, the CD of the soundtrack I was talking about, and an art book, and 32 or 36, 34 AR cards. So happy to have that. And I think that's everything I got. Got caught up on my videos here. As always, I hope everybody's having a great weekend and has a great week. And I will see you all again. Bye.